Was Aurangzeb not a tyrant? Is it not true that the Mughal emperor ordered the destruction of several Hindu temples and also imposed taxes on non-Muslims during his rule? While this debate over Aurangzeb and his credentials continues, some politicians in India continue to glorify the Mughal emperor. They say that he was a good administrator. Some even say that he made Akhand Bharat a reality. While on the other side, many groups are demanding the removal of Aurangzeb's tomb in Maharashtra. This issue came up and even came to a head when clashes ultimately broke out in one such procession that was held in Nagpur, demanding the removal of the tomb. Aurangzeb's rule may have ended centuries ago, but the debate over his problematic legacy continues even to this day. Today on the National Debate, we ask, is someone deliberately trying to whitewash Aurangzeb's tyrannical past? And if yes, then why? For more on this, let's quickly take a look at the first debating point that we have on the show today. And this is the first point that we're talking about as far as Aurangzeb's legacy is concerned. He has a track record as far as demolition of temples are concerned. He's ordered the destruction of several Hindu temples as well. He has raised the Kashi Vishwanath as well as Somnath temples, among several others. The reimposition of the jizya tax that he also brought in. And this was, of course, abolished earlier by Akbar. He brought it in again. And the jizya tax was imposed on non-Muslims, especially on Hindus, is of course the argument. There's also the brutal military action as far as Aurangzeb is concerned. He led a prolonged war, especially against the Marathas. And this, of course, led to the draining of the Marathas' resources, led to widespread suffering in the region as well. Let's also look at some of the other aspects of Aurangzeb, the Mandir destroyer, as he's being called. He destroyed monuments with coarse bigotry, is what Will Durant, historian on Aurangzeb, has said. He ordered the razing of all temples of Hindus or even of Christians, is what Will Durant has also observed. In 1679 to 80, 66 temples were broken in Amber alone, is what has been observed. 123 temples were destroyed in Udaipur, is a further observation coming in from Will Durant. He built Mohammedan mosques on a temple site to insult Hindus, is another claim that has been made, and in fact also says that as a result of his fanaticism, thousands of temples were laid in ruins across India is concerned. But what are the kind of statements that we've seen coming in as far as Aurangzeb is concerned? Abu Azmi coming out to say that Aurangzeb was not cruel. This is a statement of the SP MLA. He also goes on to say that he was a good administrator. And of course, sparking of controversy also was Akhtarul Iman Shaheen, AIMIM MLA, who says that Aurangzeb made Akhand Bharat a reality. That's the claim that has been made by him. He further goes on to say that Aurangzeb united India and served the country through this kind of action that he did. That's a statement coming in from the MIM spokesperson. Let's quickly open this up and take it across to our guest. Joining us with us is Pradeep Bhandari, national spokesperson of the BJP. Abhijit Iyer Mitra is senior fellow of IPCS. Vijay Shankar Tiwari is national spokesperson of the VHP. We also have Anish Gawande, national spokesperson of the NCP. Sharad Pawar faction. Vivek Silas is national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. Rajiv Riaz Pratapgadi is a political analyst joining us. We also have with us in our studio, and my first question goes to Ashutosh Mishra, senior journalist. Ashutosh Mishra, with this kind of a legacy of Aurangzeb, very clearly, there are historians who have different points of view, but it's one thing is very clear. He was a tyrant. He was somebody who did not believe in peaceful tolerance of religions, and that's quite clearly, represented in the kind of legacy as far as Aurangzeb is concerned. There are those who today demand the removal of his tomb. Whether that demand is justified or not, the point is, why do we have so many people who are trying to glorify Aurangzeb in the first place in our polity? Do they have any place?
First of all, the more pertinent question is, why is Aurangzeb being revived as a talking point today, and by whom? Because everybody knows that Aurangzeb was a tyrant, a person who killed his own brothers, who imprisoned his own father. So to say that Aurangzeb was a good administrator or whatever is, ridiculous. In fact, if anything, he was the person who used religion to hide his economic failures. Everybody knows that, who has read his history. I don't know why these people are saying what they are saying. But the question, more pertinent question, as I said earlier, is the people who are raising this, who take out processions to demand the demolition of his tomb. Why are they doing it? First of all, let's remember, it's RSS centenary year. We have seen the Pradhan mascot of Sant Parivar, Narendra Modi, losing his mojo. We have seen that there are CMs in BJP who are trying to sort of position themselves as the heir apparent, and they're in a race with Amit Shah.
Okay, you're saying it's all for political reasons and positioning that this is being done.
Yes.
That's what you're saying. Okay, it's being done for political reasons and for positioning. विजय शंकर तिवारी, सबसे पहले आप जवाब दीजिए, क्या इसका कोई पॉलिटिकल सिग्निफिकेंस है जैसे मिस्टर मिश्रा यहाँ पे सजेस्ट कर रहे हैं?
नहीं, इसमें मुझे तो कहीं से राजनीतिक परिप्रेक्ष्य नहीं लगता है। आप एक देखिए, किसी भी देश में जब प्रतीक गढ़े जाते हैं, कोई स्टैच्यू बनाए जाते हैं, तो इसलिए होते हैं कि किसी ने बहुत अच्छा काम किया है और समाज उनको याद रखे और देखता रहे, उनसे प्रेरणा ले। तो औरंगजेब से प्रेरणा लेने वाली कौन सी बात है? सत्ता के लिए जिसने अपनी बहन को 20 साल जेल में बंद कर दिया, सत्ता के लिए जिसने अपने भाइयों को उनकी हत्या करवा दी, सत्ता के लिए जिसने अपने पिता को भी नहीं छोड़ा, सत्ता के लिए जिसने उस समय के हिंदू पूजा स्थलों को उसने तोड़ाया, और सत्ता के लिए ही संस्कृत विद्यालयों को तोड़वा दिया। यानी कुल मिलाकर के बलात्कार अपरिमित परिमाण में हुए ऐसे व्यक्ति के प्रतीक के रूप में देश में कोई क्यों स्वीकार करेगा? और इसीलिए बात हो रही है कि जो कब्र है वो हटनी चाहिए, क्योंकि इस देश की परंपरा है। रावण की कोई प्रतीक देखा क्या आपने? रावण को तो जलाते हैं हर साल। ये भारत की परंपरा में है कि रावण जैसे व्यक्ति को रोज हर साल जलाते हैं। और होलिका दहन, कंस का जो उस समय सारा परिप्रेक्ष्य था, तो होलिका दहन होता है। हमारे यहाँ परिप्रेक्ष्य में ऐसे लोग अगर कहीं बदनाम होते हैं और उनका प्रतीक ठीक नहीं बनता है तो उनको हम जलाते हैं, उनको मारते हैं। और औरंगजेब जैसे का कब्र बनता है, सालार मसूद का कब्र पे वहां मेला लगता है। तो ऐसे प्रतीकों को नहीं होना चाहिए देश में, वो कोई देश को प्रेरणा नहीं देते हैं।
Where does the BJP stand on this? The VHP is demanding remove the grave. Devendra Fadnavis says this is an ASI protected monument, I can't remove it. What is the BJP's position on this?
No, our stand is very clear, and the Honorable Chief Minister has said that legally we want the grave to be removed. It's an ASI protected monument, and legally the government of the state will send a recommendation, and then by due process of law the action will happen. Let me begin by a couplet. जो जलाते रहे हिंदुओं के मकान, आज वही रोशनी के मसीहे कहला रहे हैं. So those who become the Aurangzeb backers are now telling us the lessons of secularism. This is the hypocrisy. Let me tell you why Aurangzeb removal and Aurangzeb's grave removal is essential. Because the great history of Maharashtra, the great history of Shambhaji Maharaj cannot be contextual to a Hindu murderer as Aurangzeb. As per Jagannath Sarkar's book, Aurangzeb, and I quote him, was responsible for removing and killing millions of Hindus and 300 temples out around Rajasthan. He ensured that all the temples near Ujjain were demolished. I have the exact quotes of in Masrai Alamgiri, where you can see that he demolished the Kashi Vishwanath Mandir, and he demolished the Kashi Vishwanath Mandir, and after that he also killed Hindus nearby. If that was not enough, this was the case of Dehura of Keshav Rai in Mathura. He renamed Mathura as Islamabad. If that was not enough, he ensured that every temple near Udaipur was demolished. These are all written in Persian and Arabic. This is not what is my writing. If that was not enough, he ensured that all the temples on the route to his conquest were demolished. If that was not enough, he paid 2 rupees to a Hindu man to get converted and 4 rupees to a Hindu woman to get converted. If you have an individual like this being celebrated, supported and shielded in whatever context, tomorrow you will have Osama bin Laden being back. If he's saying Aurangzeb is a hero, then according to him, Osama bin Laden should be given a Nobel Peace Prize. And this is the same psyche which you saw when individuals had gone to support a terrorist like Burhan Wani, terrorist like Hafiz Saeed is called Hafiz Saeed Saab, and Yaqub Menon, a terrorist. You have people in midnight going to the Supreme Court and asking for clemency petition.
You are still Hindu. How come when he was... you didn't convert?
What type of
an argument? I was not born in that. No, what is he trying to say? Is he trying to say? He's promoting conversion? He's saying, I'm telling you what he's saying. On the hands of Constitution of India, if this man's party will come to power, he will convert every Hindu and impose Sharia from back door. This is AIMM. This is secular Muslim party for you. This is where we have the problem. And this is why we want the grave to be removed, because tomorrow these Tushtikaran ka netas will divide the Hindu society, consolidate the Muslim vote and make Aurangzeb as the Messiah.
Who ruled for 50 years, how can he remove from history? He was a great ruler. How can you remove him from history?
How can a man who has murdered Hindus and killed temples be a great
There were many kings who murdered.
With that logic, do you justify a ruler who has killed Muslims, who has ensured that mosques should be demolished? Are you justifying that? Are you justifying that? No, with your logic, let's take your argument forward. Are you justifying that a man and a ruler who has demolished mosques, who has killed Muslims, will be a great ruler? Yes or no?
I don't.
No, give that here. I'm taking your argument on your part. If you are saying a man who has killed Hindus, who has demolished Hindu temples, temples is a great ruler. With that logic, you
Had he
as
been-
a representative of the Muslim community, do you
had he
justify
been
that?
fanatic,
How can
there
this
was
be? You are a fanatic. You are justifying killing on religious grounds.
64
This is
Samdas were
exactly what
Hindus.
secularism is.
Raja
Okay,
Jai Singh
All
was
right, all right. Let me come in here.
Army
Let me come in
chief.
here.
This is what we condemn.
Raja Jai Singh was his army chief.
Let me come in here. Let me come in here, and let me bring in fact, Vivek Sailas. Vivek Sailas, what has happened? The Varasri Gazetteer is very clear of what happened in Kashi. It's very clear the Kashi Vishwanath temple was one of the many temples that were destroyed by Aurangzeb. Why should such a person, in that case, be even glorified? Do you agree with the statements coming in from not just the MIM, but also your own party's leader? Mr. Abu Azmi is on record to saying that he united India, and therefore he's a great administrator, etc. He should be glorified.
You know, Madhav, this debate looks like a more of a history class rather than we are debating on something. I agree with my fellow panelist from the NCP that this is not the point to discuss. If you want to remove his grave, remove it. But how is it going to help the country? That is the thing now. Is it going to help the country? If it is going to help the country, I'll be the first person to go there and remove it. But that is the question is, that's not going to help the country at any cost as of now what the country is actually facing. That is what I feel. Because we should talk about how the country should be developed. If we talk about a man who has died 318 years back, he died 318 years back, and if the country on the national debate is discussing about him, he could be a tyrant. I don't deny from that. He could be a tyrant.
But at that time, happening on ground because of this person's legacy.
Madhav,
can you deny that?
At that time, the politics of the country or the politics of the world could have been different. That could
Sure, but
yes.
even by that yardstick, that's what he exactly said. Even by that yardstick, he's a complete tyrant. Because look at the kind of impositions. Much before him, Akbar removed jizya and all those taxes. He brings all of that back in. He destroys several temples. He's also somebody who's believed to, or at least is recorded as saying by several historians, somebody who celebrates those who could not pay jizya and therefore had to convert. So there is a big problem as far as Aurangzeb is concerned. Do we admit to that?
Aurangzeb could have been a bad ruler. Or he could have, for some people, he could have been a good ruler,
How?
But by how? You said that taxes he was imposed, what he imposed to the Hindu community, the Sajia tax. What was that?
So what is the
Jizya
parameter of
tax.
good? What is
He could have been a bad ruler for the Hindus. He could have been a good ruler for the Muslims.